with the state of the world right now, it can be really easy to live in the mindset of scarcity and to try to hold on to everything that you have. We can get stuck on this path of looking for only the cheapest option, for seeking everything at the lowest cost possible, even if the quality isn't there. But what if this way of thinking is actually setting us back in the long run? What if shifting our mindset from scarcity to abundance is actually the fast track to progress? Let's dig into it. I used to be so cheap. I used to avoid paying for anything if I could. I would skim the internet for free workouts. I would go and get those little pots of makeup samples so that I didn't have to go and buy a full bottle of foundation. What I didn't know was not only was this mindset keeping me from where I wanted to be, it was also blocking me from getting off this hamster wheel of feeling stuck and broke. And here's what I'm learning. Money is energy. It's a language. It's how we communicate. It comes and goes. And I now believe that the way that we think about money shifts our entire reality. Listen, I don't know about you, but I was raised in an environment that preached things like, money doesn't grow on trees. I'm not made of money. Oh, and over the years that I've learned that our beliefs around money is usually rooted from our childhood and how we've been raised and the environments that we were put in as a child. And when that mindset is rooted in beliefs like the ones that I was raised around, it can actually block you from creating wealth, from abundance, and from receiving. And that's just the complete opposite of what I'm trying to do. I used to have beliefs around even talking about money and that was wrong and bad and bragging. It was just a very hush-hush kind of topic, and I really had to go to work to break those beliefs and to break those behaviors when it came to money. Because at the end of the day, I want a healthy relationship with money. I want to build wealth and abundance for myself. And I'm learning unless we actively work to shift those beliefs around money, they can control the decisions that we make, and they can ultimately control the path that we're on in life. And listen, I can appreciate that everyone comes from different backgrounds and different experiences and beliefs. I get that some people don't like talking about money. I get that some people have trauma around money. I definitely do. And if this kind of video is just not your vibe, where someone's talking about money and creating more money, then this video is not for you. And that's okay. There's plenty of videos on the internet that are for you, okay? I know what it's like to struggle for a meal. I know what it's like to have a negative bank account. I know what it's like to not know how you're gonna pay your bills the next week. And I'm still on this journey of shifting my mindset and improving my relationship with money. So this isn't coming from a place of like, I've done it and I'm cured of all my limiting beliefs, because I'm not. But as always, I just wanna share what's working for me, where my perspective is when it comes to this kind of stuff, in hopes that it can help empower one person to maybe start shifting their own beliefs and perspectives and decisions so that they can have a better relationship with money. So in this video, I want to talk about why it might be hurting you to only be seeking out only the free options. I want to talk about what a healthy relationship with money can look like, how the mindset of abundance and the mindset around investing can actually fast track your progress. And then I want to share some ways and invite you to start stepping into challenging those limiting beliefs that you might be having that are stopping you from creating what you want in your life. So let's dig into why it's hurting you to only seek out the free options in life. When it comes to free options, you have to question the quality. And I know from my personal experience that that's not always the case, but I do believe that for a lot of things out there, that is the case. I feel like not only is the quality impacted, but I just feel like it can be limited information. I want to talk about these things from the perspective of building an online presence, being a content creator, and building a brand online, because that's what I am really passionate about talking about. So how this plays out is when you're only seeking free options, it really can just be like a piece of the puzzle instead of like the whole picture. Like you're often only given a very little amount of the bigger picture that you are just left to your own devices to try and piece together. And I often find that that can actually leave you more confused and steer you off the course of where you want to go, because that just leaves you there on your own to fill in the blanks yourself. And since there's no barrier to entry, I feel like the commitment levels can vary. I know I've personally done free things that I've taken very seriously as if I've paid for them, but I've also done free things that I'm just like, oh, it was just a free workout PDF that whatever. If I do it, I do it. If I don't, I don't. Like, I didn't pay for it. It's free. It's always going to be there. You know what I mean? It's just that mindset around like how seriously you take it can definitely vary from person to person. So that's also something that I've noticed. That energy is coming right back to you. So whether you're just restricting yourself, that things are being restricted from you. The physical effects that it has on your body to live in that constant scarcity mode, it's just like the stress and what that does to your body over time. It's just not healthy. It can definitely be impacting you physically, even if you're not realizing it. So I believe that having the abundance mindset can help fast track your success in so many ways. Having an abundance mindset is all about owning your circumstances. And I feel like that is one of the most empowering things that you can do for yourself. Because when you are living in like scarcity mode or a victim mentality, there is no room for abundance there. So when you step into abundance, you're no longer living in the victim mentality. You're no longer placing excuses on external factors. You are taking ownership, and it's like that whole mindset of, you know, I got myself here and I can get myself out. And it's just like having your own back in that. Living in an abundance mindset, it allows you to look at money from this neutral place. You're able to let go of money easier. Oh my God, you spend money and then you look at your bank account seeing like how much it went down and then stressing. I just believe when you let go of that negative energy around money and around letting go of money, you open up the positive energy and abundance energy to receive more money. When you have that negativity around money, I believe it's blocking you. I just believe that you're more likely to start, you know, investing in opportunities, saying yes to more things, surrounding yourself with the right people. I just feel like it's an energetic thing, and when you make that mindset shift, it actually shifts on so many other levels. I just believe that when you are fully immersing yourself in that abundance energy, that it just starts appearing in your life. And I believe that this is because it's always been there. It's not just appearing, it's always been there. I feel like once you step into that abundance, it like snowballs. I just feel like it's a huge ripple effect, and it can really start from shifting a mindset from scarcity to abundance. And this is something that I am actively working on. So what can a healthy relationship with money look like? I feel like this can be very individual based on your past and your experiences in life, but a healthy relationship with money can look like just not being controlled by the fear of spending, being able to look at money from a neutral standpoint, just feeling like regardless of the number in your bank account, feeling like you are in control of that number. Maybe it's having boundaries that allow you to stay in a healthy place with money. Maybe it's working on and improving your financial literacy so that you can have a solid foundation to build off of. It can be so many things, and I really do believe this is so individual, but I would love to know in the comments, what would or what does a healthy relationship with money look like for you? And now I want to talk about some ways that you can start challenging your limiting beliefs around money today and start making those changes. Because I feel like this is the most powerful thing that you can do, is start taking action today. Don't wait until you get your next paycheck. You can start taking action today. I think one of the most important things to start doing is to become more open-minded. Having an open mind can be very challenging for a lot of people because we live in this world where we've been conditioned to think a certain way. We've grown up in environments that have brought us up with the certain mindsets. And so you have to actively go to work to change that. And you have to actively want that for yourself and want to shift those beliefs. You can't just wake up one day and just be like, oh, I'm open-minded, when you've been very close to this perception of money and limiting beliefs around money. So it takes work. So like, give yourself grace as well, trying to be more conscious of your thoughts around money. And I say this all the time. It is like something that I should just get tattooed on my body at this point. Just because something is all you've ever known does not mean that it is all you can ever have. So if all you've ever known is just like having a bad relationship with money, being broke, just having this negativity with letting go of money, that doesn't mean that that has to be your life. You get to choose if you are going to do something about it. When you come at it from that standpoint, it's just so empowering. You can't control the environments that you were put in as a child, but you can control how you shift those thoughts now. And like, that can be hard to hear because it can feel so heavy, like this is all on me. It's all up to me to change. But I try to look at it from the most loving and empowering standpoint, like, we've got this. I can shift this. It's going to take work. It's going to take time. I'm going to make mistakes. I'm going to hit setbacks, but it is possible. I can be really conflicted when it comes to like money mindset affirmations. In the past, it hasn't really done much for me. What has worked for me is doing it in a way that's like realistic. So, you know, I've seen like affirmations like, I'm a rich bitch, like I have money all around me. Like, that doesn't feel good for me. That doesn't sit with me well. Like, those words don't feel true. If you're sitting there with $5 in your bank account and you're like looking in the mirror telling yourself, I'm a rich bitch, like, it's just not gonna translate, and your brain's gonna be like, okay, sure. Well, at least for me, like, that might work for some people, but for me, it just didn't work to like do those like stock standard affirmations. What does help me is like going from saying things like, oh my God, I'm so broke. Like, anytime I would catch myself saying that, which I honestly can't remember like the last time I've said that, or if I've said that at all, but just using this as an example, saying something like, oh my God, I'm so broke, and then switching that to, I am working towards growth and abundance. It's not like saying something that's not true. It's saying something that's more believable for our brain, because our brain chases comfort. So anytime that we go to shift something that's unfamiliar, so like looking at money in a different perspective, our brain's gonna be like, oh, no, we don't think that way. We think negatively about money, like, what are you doing? But if you're like, I'm working towards growth and abundance, your brain can be like, okay. Like, for me, it just lands better. If that lands better for you, then throw away all those stock standard affirmations that are telling you that like, I attract money every single day and I'm a rich bitch. I am surrounded by money, because like, I don't always feel like I'm surrounded by money, but I am actively working towards growth and abundance. Do you see the difference there? Like, you're saying something that just feels more true. Encourage you to look for things that are going to land and that are going to feel like, okay, like it's a stretch, but it's not like an overstretch, you know? Like, ooh, this feels uncomfortable because like I've never really played with this mindset, but I can vibe here, you know, like play in that energy. And then like, I just feel like over time, you can start stretching a little more. You can start stretching a little more, and you can start like shifting your perspective in bigger and bolder ways. So that tip, summed up in a nutshell, is to just start being conscious of how you speak about money, and then try and correct it when you feel like it's a thought that's not serving you. Of course, gratitude is always going to make it on the list when we're talking about money and abundance. I am a firm believer in just having gratitude for what you do have while you're working towards what you want. I feel like a lot of people come at it from this place like, oh, I'll feel grateful when. But like, no, there's so many things in your life showing up for you right now that you have to be grateful for. I just swear that stepping into gratitude can shift your entire day, and it's something that I constantly need a reminder of. And I feel like in this like fast-paced world of like instant gratification, we constantly need this as a society, this reminder to step into gratitude. It's like being more generous, and I feel like this can play out in so many different ways, not just financially, but being generous with your time, your energy, the knowledge that you do have, you know, helping someone that's a couple of steps behind you. I don't know, just getting creative with like being generous and being giving. I just feel like it always comes back to you tenfold, whether it comes back in 5 days, a year from now, 6 years from now, like that generosity pays off. Another one is to dare to dream big, but start small. So let's say you're currently earning X amount and you wanna be at 10x that amount. Make those bite-sized goals to help you get to the bigger goals. I spoke about this in another video, just about how you need to prove to yourself, especially if you are someone that has consistently like not achieved goals that they've set out for themselves, you need to like take it even slower, even smaller than someone who is already good at achieving the goals that they set out for themselves. And like, that's not to like come from a place of guilt or shame. It's just where you're at, and that's okay, because like, I feel like so many of us have set goals that we haven't achieved for ourselves. It's nothing to like beat ourselves up about, but it's just like, okay, this is where I'm at. I'm really struggling to reach the goals that I'm setting for myself. So I need to really work on just proving to myself that I can show up for myself. Use the example of fitness. So if you are not going to the gym right now and you want to be going 6 days a week, maybe just starting by trying to go 1 day a week. And that might feel like, oh, that's not a good goal. I literally just spoke about this example in a video I filmed earlier. If you go from 0 to 1 and you can do that for 6 months or 3 months or whatever feels good before you start increasing it, you're proving to yourself that I'm someone that sets goals and shows up for themselves. You know what I mean? And then once you get into that mindset that like you can start believing that you can achieve goals that you set for yourself, then you can start like playing around with making them a little bigger. But I feel like if you are struggling to even achieve any of the goals you're setting out for yourself, then you really need to like break it down and just like, okay, let's set the like teeniest, tiniest, babyest goal that's like a no-brainer. Start so friggin' small so that you can start building that belief back up into yourself that I am someone that can achieve goals. I am someone that shows up for myself when it comes to working towards goals. The last thing is start taking action with the money that you do have. We could be talking about working with $5, $10 here. It doesn't have to be these big amounts. It doesn't have to be these crazy amounts. You just have to get into the habit. And this has been the biggest shift for me, because I think in the past, I've had this mindset with money that like, oh, when I'm earning more, or when I'm earning this amount, then I'll start doing this with my money. Then I'll start learning how to do this with my money. And like, one of the biggest things that helped with that is this book, Unfuck Your Finances, which I got at the thrift store for $3. So what I'm saying is like, you can start taking action. You can listen to podcasts. You can get books at your thrift store. Like, this book like changed so many of my habits, and I was actually really shocked because I didn't believe that I could change those habits around money, because I've lived so much of my life just doing things a certain way that I was just like, I don't know, it's like a lifetime of habits that you have to rewire. And so it just felt so overwhelming, but I was like, I'm gonna try. And now I've like done habits for years that I've learned out of this book. And one thing she talks about in that book is just like starting with whatever you have, knowing what to do with the money that you do have, even if it is a tiny bit amount. It teaches you how to treat money for when you do have more, the abundance, the fat bank account. So you have to start with what you have. You have to start showing yourself that you know how to treat money, and you know how to respect money, and you have a good relationship with money. You have to prove that to yourself now when you have the little bits of money. You're putting it out there to either I am someone that's responsible with money, I am someone that has a good relationship with money. Or just like learning what you can from books, from podcasts, from Instagram accounts. Like I said, I didn't spend all this money on a new book. I got a used book, and it's been great. Like, I highly recommend this book. Go to your local thrift store and see if they have any books on money that are like, one thing that I always do is I check the copyright, because I just feel like I want something that's like done in the last 5 years. Honestly, I don't know if this video went exactly how I was planning it to be, but I do feel like I shared a lot of things that have helped me along the way when it comes to money, and when it comes to my money mindset, and when it comes to like the abundance mentality. And I'm just hoping that it can plant a seed in someone today that might be struggling with their relationship with money, and that might be struggling living in this scarcity mindset, that really just wants to go out there and make some changes. I hope that this can plant a seed in you that you are fully capable of making those changes, and it's not going to happen overnight. So hopefully this helps someone out there create a little bit of awareness of where their mindset is, where their relationship with money is, and how it might be impacting their lives and the things that they can do to change it. If you did like this video, you might want to check out my self-worth series. So I did a part 1 and part 2. So definitely check that one out in the meantime while you wait for the next video to drop. With that, thank you so much for watching. Consider subscribing, and I hope to see you tuning into another video soon. Bye!